What's going on, everybody? In this video, I want to talk about self-evolution and growing up and getting to the next level. So I'm going to start this video just by simply saying that I feel like I recently went up a level within my own life because I'm seeing some of the goals and the dreams and the things that I put in place years ago coming into fruition during these times. And so I want to help you also get up to the next level and really see the life that you want to live, right? To actually embody the life that you want to be in. So how do you get there? First, you recognize again where you want to go, like what your goals are, where your focus is. When you know that, then you have to recognize that you're exactly where you are right now because you put yourself there. That's the first thing. And because you need to be there because it's for you. Okay, you have to be able to accept that before you're ready to get up to the next level. If you can't accept that, like you can be in a horrible situation, but you need to recognize that you put yourself there, right? And stop playing the victim. Stop saying, oh, well, this person came into my life and did this and da-da-da-da-da, and now I'm here and oh my gosh, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, or this thing or the government or whatever it is. You have to take responsibility and you have to own your life in order to get up to the next level. Because as long as you're playing the victim and you're thinking that these people are doing something to you or that party is doing things to you, then you are so far from your core and really what's going on that you're going to be very confused, you're going to be very misled, and you're not going to have really a good chance at getting to that next level. So own your life and take responsibility for it. That's really the step number 2. After you know what your focus and your goals are, you got to own your life and take responsibility for it. Okay? Step number 3 in order to get up to the next level is to recognize the current challenges and the problems in your life, because the reason why you're not where you want to be and where you want to go, and the reason why you are who you are, is because you're not that. Okay, it's very important to recognize you are who you are, and that's because of everything that you're doing on an everyday basis. The way that you're thinking, the way that you're speaking, the actions that you take, your habits, all of this is currently building your current identification, your current person or persona, right? A persona is a mask worn in a drama or a play, and that's what your person is. It's a character that we're all playing. But if you're trying to level up your character, right? If you're trying to you're in this simulation or this RPG called life, and you're like, all right, I want to get the next level. I want to get my black belt or whatever it is. I want to get some prestige in my life. What are you going to do, right? You have to recognize okay, this is why I'm not where I want to be, because maybe I'm lazy, or maybe I'm out of shape, or maybe I'm not working hard enough, or maybe I'm not spending enough time doing this. Very, very important things. Or maybe there's this person in my life that's just draining my energy, or maybe I'm in an environment that's unhealthy and it's not for me. You have to come to this conclusion within yourself and recognize that it's important to have a system of support, to have a network around you of people that can help support you and share a reflection with you so you can see yourself clearly in what's going on. That's always very important. Never disregard the value in having friends and having people that truly support you and want you to grow, right? So when you have those people in your life and you have a clear system of reflection where you can look in the mirror and you can see what's going on, right? You can truly see what's going on. All right, this is what I need to work on right now. Now you know your problems, now you know your challenges. That's the 3rd step. The 4th step is to find the solutions, because the solution came before any of the problems, right? Very, very important to understand this. See, try to level up your character in this play. And this play is like a grand drama, right? There's highs and there's lows, and there's yin and there's yang, and there's all these things that are going on during this play, during this experience we call life. And there's great things to it and there's bad things to it. And the thing is that what you want to do, because you want to become more stable, it becomes easier to walk up a flight of stairs or to climb a mountain or to go up different, to a higher level when you're stable, right? Because if you're just going high and then low and then you're all over the place, what's going to happen is you'll take the first step and then you'll fall down, or you take 10 steps up and then you're gonna fall down because something, maybe you're just on a low and you take some steps up, and then all of a sudden you get this high and you're feeling so great, and then all of a sudden you slip because you're not paying attention to where you're putting your feet anymore, and you fall all the way back down. And so it's very important to recognize that you want to bring your highs and lows a little bit more to the center and make them more subtle. You don't want to be so dramatic and all flinging your energy everywhere. That's really where the power is in this balance, right? Because then when it's there, then it's easier to go up like that. So it's very important to recognize that You want to develop a character that's not so influenced and so in the drama, right? In the drama of life, is not so influenced and affected by really what's going on out here. You can still have this stable inside. Very, very, very important. So these are the steps that you want to consider when you're trying to get up to the next level. In order to get up to the next level, you need to be able to get enough strength to actually lift your foot up and get up there, right? And in order to do that, it's all about building momentum. It's about putting habits and systems and things in place for you that are going to help you succeed, right? Be your best friend, and at the same time recognize that you're your worst enemy, right? A lot of, if you're in the victim mindset, it's like your enemy is the government, or your enemy is these people in your life, or, these blah, 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 blah. But when you take responsibility and you recognize that at the end of the day, you're at a battle with yourself. You have one side of yourself, and then you have this other side of yourself, which is the shadow, which is your darkness, which is all these things inside yourself. That's for an example, when I was 18 and I was originally waking up and understanding what's going on in the spiritual world, what's going on in my life and where I'm at, I realized, wow, my life, I'm not exactly where I want to be right now. I'm depressed, I'm addicted to pornography, I'm all these different things. And I'm drinking too much, I was smoking too much, I was too lazy, I wasn't working, just, go on. And I was addicted to video games, playing video games all day, go on and on and on and on. And it's you come to this conclusion and you just realize shit, yeah, I'm not the person that I want to be right now, right? And we all get to that moment, but when we make that decision and we get focused and recognize all right, this is the honesty, because you can't get up to the next level with a level of honesty with yourself without being able to look in the mirror and be bro, this is what's going on right now. You gotta face this, you gotta deal with this. And if you don't deal with this, if you don't deal with your darkness and your shadow, it doesn't mean that it's gonna go away. What's gonna happen is that you're just gonna be consumed by it, and you're gonna have no awareness at all. And you're just gonna be living unconsciously, consuming things for the rest of your life. And do you really wanna live like that? You probably don't if you're watching this video, right? So if you wanna get up to the next level, you really gotta put your shadow in its proper place, because the darkness is not bad. The darkness is part of life, and it doesn't mean just completely disregard all the pleasures of life, okay? But what you have to recognize is that you don't get pleasure without pain, right? You got to suffer a little bit to get some pleasure. It's not just pleasure all the time. That only just leads to a hangover, like Alan Watts says, right? So it's easy to drown in the so-called pleasures, or the illusion of life, basically. The things that are not the ultimate ending, or not really the ultimate ending or beginning. It's easy to get lost in this world out here. So it's very important to have this deeper connection with yourself and what's going on, so that you can be clear about what's happening around you and everything, because a lot of people just have these ideas, and these ideas of who they are and what's going on in the world don't actually sync up with the truth and what is real, right? They create an illusion and a lie, and they live within it. They chase their tail, or their tale that they tell themselves over and over again about, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, right? You have to be able to recognize that at the end of the day, that's a script, that's a program that you're telling you. And when you start to master the ability to be able to go in and out of different worlds and recognize that you can basically pick up a different script at any time and start to run it. And in order to do that, you have to be willing to get rid of the old script. So right, if you want to go up to the next level, you got to figure out what that script looks like. And you got to start telling that script to yourself. You got to start running that script in your life every day. Maybe that's you waking up. Like recently I put in some different habits in the morning. It's I'll wake up and I'll start doing some breath work. And then right after that, I'll hop into some chest, and then maybe it's some yoga or some exercises or whatever it is, right? And putting habits in place and systems in place that you can always rely on, that you recognize that man, I don't care if it's raining, I don't care if it's sunny, I don't care if it's an avalanche outside, I'm gonna try to follow up with these habits, right? You gotta be able to follow through. That's another real, very important thing, and something that I realized just recently about myself is that following through and being committed to something is extremely key. And fundamentally, at the end of the day, if you can't actually commit to yourself, you can't commit to anything out here. There's nothing you can actually commit to. You can put on the illusion of, oh yeah, I'm so committed and this is what I want to do and da 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 da. But if you haven't really committed to yourself, you can't follow through with any of that. It's all just charades. It's all just a play that you're putting on. You know, you put on a certain face, you go here and you do your thing. And you can fool people with that. If you're really good at it, it's easy to fool people, but you'll never fool yourself. And that's really what it comes down to. So be clear with yourself and commit to the life that you want to live. It's not just about what life you want to live, right? Okay, because I went down that path too. Like 3 years ago, I went on this tangent of like, you know what? I'm gonna just do it all for myself. It's all about me. It's all about my ego. It's all about my identity and my character. And this is what it's about. And I recognized immediately that not really, not really. That's not what it's about. At the end of the day, there's a lot more going on here, and this is a co-creation. And that to think that it's all about you is completely wrong. Because who are you? Who's even speaking right now, right? It's the identity, it's the illusion, it's just an interface that you're using to connect with this world. And don't get me wrong, you want to make sure that that interface is super on point and everything is clear, but if you're not able to see beyond it and actually see that you're so much more, right? You're so much more. Like, you came here to the earth and you're playing this role, you're playing this character, but you're just playing the character, right? You aren't the character, you're playing the character. Very, very important. Once you see that you're playing the character, it becomes so easy to get to the next level. Like, getting to the next level just becomes like intuitive. It's just like you'll start to get orders, because the thing is that when you start to connect with where you want to go, you start to connect with your higher mind and your higher self, the version of yourself that's already there, because there's a version of yourself that already exists out there, right? You're just returning to that state. And if you look at it that way, then you can recognize that if there's a version of yourself that truly exists where you want to go, at any single moment you can connect with that. It's like dialing up a phone call to your ancestors and be like, yo, like, I need some support right now. I need some support. Like, what should I do? And the thing is that if you're really on the path and you're really trending in that direction, you will receive that support. You will get the call, and the call will come back and say, hey, these are the things you need to work on right now, okay? You really need to focus on this. And it's that clear, it's that easy. And the most beautiful thing about it is that it's a reward system. We're living in a very rewarding world despite all the craziness. See, all the craziness and the things that are happening should be fuel on the fire to get you moving. You know, I see a lot of people that are looking at the things that are going on in the world, and they're just allowing that to basically drag them down and create problems in their life. And if you do that, again, you're just going into the victim mentality. So what an alchemist does is they recognize that is a reflection for them to see, like, shit, like I'm not sure if I want to let these crazy people govern me anymore. I feel like it's time to govern myself. So what do I need to do to actually position myself in that way? Very, very important things to come to. And like, to recognize that the state, most people are not ready to govern themselves. Most people would rather be asleep in the world of comforts and illusions because they're enjoying it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with that. You shouldn't have a problem with that either, because that's who they are. That's who they've chosen to be. But they still have that reflection, right? And they can always choose to wake up at any given moment. And so if you've chosen to wake up and you're like, all right, like the word like government, it means like governmental. And it's like, okay, like really, like when I look out there, like, what are they doing? Like, you gotta wear a mask everywhere, and now you need our permission to breathe and get this and get that if you want to travel. And it's like, bro, like, I don't know if I really signed up for this. And see, the thing is that it's quite funny. It's like when you start to ask these questions and come to these conclusions, what you'll recognize is that, okay, that might be happening, but what are you going to do about it, right? And then more importantly, what's your timeline to do it? Because it's one thing to say, like, okay, like, I want to move myself into a position where I'm more sovereign, where I'm actually taking care of myself. But where obviously you're not there now if you're saying that you want to move yourself into that position, right? So you have to recognize that means going up to a higher level, right? So what does that level look like for you? And you're going to recognize that to go from a situation where you're basically completely dependent on the government to a situation where you're taking and governing yourself, you're going to have to go up a lot of levels. It's not just like, okay, I'm there, right? It's a real climb. It's a real process. It's a real ascension. And so you got to put in the work. You got to put in the time. You got to be focused. You got to be consistent. You have to have the people in your life that support you to get there. Because it's not a one-man journey. At the end of the day, it's really not. is something that we're doing all together, right? It's like a wave that we're riding. So have a wonderful day, everyone. I hope this video really helped you. I just feel that it's so important during these times and with everything going on to recognize that getting up to the next level, it should be like a priority in your life. And once you get there, like, make sure that you're able to be stable as you're doing it. Like, you really don't want to start like really raising your energy and climbing if you're not able to maintain balance, because what you're going to do is you're going to end up hurting yourself. And I'll tell you that I have experienced this. And it really comes in the most simple reflections, because the truth is universal. There's a universal blueprint out here. And if you just follow it and apply it in your lives, you'll see how everything works, right? It's not like some grand mystery, but at the same time, our senses and our mind have been so clouded with all this bullshit that it seems so far from us, but it's really not. It's really common sense. So, like, for me, for example, like, like I said, it's right in your face. Driving too fast on the motorcycle, right? Just going a little fast. It's raining, and then do a short turn and just boom. You know, sort of like broke my rib. got all scarred up and stuff. And that was like a wake-up call for me to see, like, shit, like, I was going real fast, and I was like, I was speeding up. But I didn't have my balance on point. I'll tell you that. My balance was not on point. And so that really, it's something as simple as that. I ran out of space on my phone, but I want to wrap this up now. Moral of the story, what I was saying was that experience for me showed me that we're living in a fractal, and I can take that experience, that lesson, and distill it and recognize the value that it has across all the different aspects and areas of my life. And you can do the same thing when you have those very clear reflections that come and just boom, wake you up, right? You get that wake up call and you're like, shit, like I took a wrong turn, or I hit a wall, or like, okay, I'm all right. I get the message, basically, right? So that's the message for today. It's about leveling up. It's about getting closer to your core, recognizing what this path, what this experience on earth is all about in your self-evolution. And I know this video was a little long-winded and I kind of just went on and on and on and on, but I hope you really found some value in it. So yeah, have a wonderful day. Keep expanding. Aloha and Pura Vida. Be sure to subscribe and like the video. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you want to see more like this, I definitely can make more. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.